I think it just, hi everyone. This is AJ's Personal Touch, and Jeanette from AJ's Personal Touch. And my friend Nadine is with me again tonight. And my cat is trying to join me on my lap again. AJ's Personal Touch, and Jeanette from AJ's. I need to turn that off. It is on YouTube. So I think it just means that if I get a pro plant, for those, if you jump in and you're trying to understand what we're talking about, I got a message from StreamYard when I went to go live saying that this would not be recorded by StreamYard. I would have to increase up my plan to a pro plan instead of the free one that they offer. And it worked fine last time. So I think it just means that they won't have an actual recording of it on StreamYard, but it is being recorded on YouTube. So, because my last one showed up on YouTube after it was over, so I'm sure this one will as well. How you feeling, Nadine?
I'm feeling okay. I've had a rough time of it. So
yeah, everybody knows hi Samantha Stewart. I've told everybody that, I wasn't sure if you were going to be on or not because you had oral surgery and you were having a rough time. So
yeah,
that was about it, because I don't like to tell everybody's business, but I did say that. I've got my yarn. Is everybody here with yarn? Do you have your yarn? Okay. Yeah. Cotton yarn is the best. I have 2 little scrap bundles because I'm not quite sure if one's going to be enough, and I'll just tie the other one on if I need to. But I'm going to start off with this one because it goes with my hair a little bit better, I think. First, I'm going to talk about the first 2 that I made. Hi, Jenny Smith. How are you? So, because Nadine can't see who's on. Nadine, we've got Samantha Stewart with us, and we have Jenny Smith.
How you doing?
Here's the first one that I made, which was the long one, which worked fine for me, except for my hair is, the cat's trying to play with it, is finer than if I still had my thick hair that I used to have. This would work perfect. But with my finer hair that it is now, after losing so much after surgeries along the way, it was just starting to get to where it didn't want to stay in and it was slipping and coming out. So then I did this one. And for some reason, I was thinking when I made this one that I used 15 crochets in the length of this one. But I was wrong because I counted and I wrote everything up real quick tonight. I actually had, where's my large one? I had chained 40, so I had, it's for the medium. Where'd the large one go? There it is. I had actually had 20 crochets across in that one. So it was 5 larger than what I thought. So I could have done what I had wanted to do, which was to do 15 and leave 5. But I thought, no, I can't do that because I had only used 15 in the original one. So I need to figure something else out. So in the small one, I had chained originally 45 because I'd only left 15 for the tie, and then realized the tie was too small, and then I had to put 10 back on each side. So the way that I did it was actually then chained, after adding that on, a total of 37, and then I chained I chained 37, and then I worked 25. No, sorry, I can't read my own handwriting. I worked 12. I chained 37, I worked 12, and that leaves 25 chains for the hair tie. So what I'm going to do tonight is make a medium one. You guys can make whatever size you want to. It's really easy to do. But for the medium one, I'm going to be chaining 40. So let me get my chain going. I don't know. Is anybody still here with us? Because the count went to 0. I don't know if it's knocking people off. I don't know if they're actually still here or not. So if there's an issue, I would like to know. What size hook? I had left in the thing the other day. If you're using Lily's, I want to say cookies and cream. That's not the name of it. Lily's, I don't have my tag in front of me. What is it, Nadine?
Peaches and cream?
Peaches and cream. That's it. Peaches and cream is one of them. This actually isn't peaches and cream now that I think about it. This is Lily's. Lily's isn't the one with cream. Anyway, if you're using Lily's cotton, I use an H hook. I wanted to use the remnants from my washcloth, but I realized that they're smaller than the Lily's. It's sugar and something. I can't believe it. I use it all the time. I cannot believe that my brain is blanking on the name. But I did put it in the thing the other day. In the description down below my video that I left saying I was going to do this tonight. But anyway, I use an H hook for the regular cotton for either the peaches and cream or the sugar and I thought it would come to me if I started saying it, but it didn't. But if you're going to use something like what I used for the washcloths that I showed that I did, which was Joann's Big Twist Cotton, it says it's an Aran weight. Like when I went to put it in my Ravelry for my projects, it said that it was an Aran weight, but actually it's not, because Aran weight is thicker than a regular 4, and this is lighter than a regular 4. And that's if you go by the Craft Yarn Council standards. And from everywhere that I've seen, when they rank the yarns, Aran is actually thicker than a normal worsted weight 4, but a lot of people keep saying that it's lighter. So if you have something that's lighter than a regular 4, then I would maybe go down to a G. You just want to make sure that when your stitches go together that you don't have a gap in between them. You want them to be, close together. And you want to use cotton because especially like me, if you put it on when it's wet hair, you want it to be able to soak up the water and then dry nicely. I wouldn't know what it would come out if I used an acrylic. I might try it one day just to see, but I would think it would be a mess because I think it would leave my hair up wet for a lot longer
I think
than
it would
should
break
be.
a lot of hair.
Huh?
I think it would cause breakage, hair breakage.
Oh, maybe.
So I wouldn't do that.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I think most cotton yarns
13,
are
14, 15,
using H
16,
or 5.
17, 18. The other thing I did wrong when I did my small one is I only did basically 3 rows instead of 5 like on the first one. And I think that's another reason why it wasn't staying in my hair as well, because I needed it to be thicker than what I had it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Sorry, it's hard to talk and do this at the same time. 32, 33.
No, I get it.
34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40. But I am using my furls hook, my Odyssey. And my Odysseys, I can crochet a lot faster with. And I cannot wait to make enough money to have one in every size. Okay, so for the medium hair tie, which is what I'm making, I'm chaining 40. I chained 40 for the large one that I made too. So if you guys want to make the large, let me know and I'll tell you what to crochet with the large versus what I'm crocheting for the medium. Okay? Not trying to confuse you, but I've got them both right here. So, and now for the medium, I'm going to start in the very first chain and I am going to work 1/2 double crochet in each of the next 15 stitches. So that's 15 half double crochets across. And that's going to...
Do you go down 2 chains?
I go in the very first one.
Okay.
That's something that Nikki had taught us, that if you're doing the smaller stitches, like a single crochet and a half double crochet, so you can have it straight on the edges, you don't do that turning chain and it keeps it straight.
So you said 15?
Yes, 15. I'm at 5. And if I'm going too fast, please let me know in the comments. Or if I'm confusing you at all, please let me know. 7, 8, 9, 10. I guess I should be crocheting higher so you can see I'm actually crocheting. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then that will leave 25 chains for you to use as one side, as the tie on one side of it. I'm going to move this down a little bit. I'll try and scooch this to the right side so you get, there we go. I keep on wanting to go the other direction because of where your box is. And it's like, nope, you can't see me do anything if I move to that side. Now, I couldn't remember if I did a turning chain or not, but yeah, you can go ahead and chain one, but it's not going to count as a stitch because we're going to go into the very first stitch. You still with us, Jenny? Am I going too fast? Are we doing okay? What about you, Samantha? Are you still here? And then row 2 is going to be the same thing. It's just going to be a half double crochet back the other way in each stitch. So 15 more half double crochets. Nobody's saying anything, so I don't know if we lost everybody or if they're just too busy crocheting and they can't write anything.
I was right at the, making sure I had the right amount of stitches before I turned and started, started on the next row. Sorry.
I chained 37 for the medium and 15 half double crochets in the first row. Okay, that's going to give you a smaller tie. The 37 was for the small one. It's actually 40 for the medium, but you can always add on chains later if you want to. I'm trying to make sure I have it long enough for me for the first time because I noticed when I did add them on to my small one, I had not enough that it tangled in my hair where I had that tie at. So you're going to want to make sure if you do add more on that you tie it really nice and tight and small because otherwise I was in a hurry. I was getting ready to go to surgery and I wanted it So I did it really quickly. Okay, I'm at 15 on my second row. Just let me know and we'll wait for you, Jenny. Let me know when you catch up. I don't need to make this fly by really quickly. So there is something I wanted to ask you, Nadine.
What's that?
If you would like to be a moderator on the channel.
I would. I would love to do that. Just want to make sure I do a good job, though. Like, I don't want to screw
I'm sure
things
you would
up.
do fine. Once I start hopefully getting
Thank you.
some more people, you know, I'll probably need one at some point in time. I'm thinking that, didn't we have a bot or something in here in the last one and I couldn't do anything about it?
You did.
So I figured, yeah, I'm going to need a moderator and I'll figure out how to do that and I'll add you to my StreamYard as a moderator. And I think it should show you when you come in the different things that you can use. I haven't learned how to do the banners and all that stuff. I've just been like, okay, I just want to get on live. I just want to be with my people. So, okay, well, she's catching up. Are you at your 15 for the second row, Nadine?
I'm at the 15 for the third row.
Nope, you're doing it wrong then.
Well, you said you can do 3 rows if you wanted to. Didn't you?
No, I said on my small one, I accidentally only did 1 row and I meant to do 2. So I did a total of 3 rows on my small row 1 when I should have done a total of 5.
Okay.
Okay. The next one. Okay, change my one. You're going to do what's called, and I just learned this stitch right before I made these. It's a half. Actually, I changed this, didn't I? Oh, I messed up on our second row. We need to frog our second row.
What?
Sorry. I was trying something new with this one. I did half double crochets on the other ones, and I wanted to see if this worked out better. Because since the first one didn't work out. I'm sorry, you guys. Got a frog again. Sorry, Jenny. The first row was half double crochets. The second row is a stitch. It's called a half double crochet slip stitch. So what you do is you do the same thing as you would do for a half double crochet. You yarn over, you put the hook in the stitch, but instead of pulling up a loop and then yarning over and pulling through all of the loops, you yarn over, you pull that loop through, and you go through the next 2. So it makes it just a little bit of a smaller stitch. See, normally you would yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull up a stitch, and then pull through. But you're not. You're going to take that one that you just pulled up and pull through all of them. That's why it's considered a half double crochet slip stitch. So you set it up for a half double crochet, and then you basically do what you would do in a regular slip stitch. When you pull the rest through, you pull it through all of them. So it makes a smaller stitch. You see that there? Takes a bit to get used to. Once I got used to it and I had my next pattern that called for a half double crochet, I had totally messed up at the beginning because I was doing it all in half double crochet slip stitches. I was like, oops. If you need me to explain that again, Jenny, just let me know and I will. And again, I'm sorry for messing up the second row. Like I said, I was going by how I had made the other one, and I'm trying to make this one so it actually works better. Okay, did you need me to, is the yes please for you need me to explain to you how to do that stitch again? Here, I'll just show it again. I'll do a couple chains on this one and I'll do it with this other yarn I have sitting here. If I can pull this out to use it. There we go. Sometimes I wrap these up too tightly for my own good. Not wanting them to come out again. There we, what in the world? Evidently I'm not finding the original place because every time I go to unwrap it, it's hooked in there again. Because I'm not using, it had both ends in that. So it was really messed up. So which one comes from the center? Oh, I'm going to use the outside one. It's coming apart easier. Okay. There we go. Do a couple chains here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I'm going to move my computer again. There we go. So what you do is you yarn over. See, I yarned over. You go into the stitch and you yarn over and then you pull it through all the loops. It's harder to do with the chain. Okay, so yarn over, put it in the stitch, yarn over again, bring it up and pull it through all the loops. And that's a half double slip stitch. I never realized you could do a slip stitch with anything other than an original slip stitch.
Yeah, they're fun, right?
Until I had seen this one in the pattern. Okay. And I can't remember which pattern it was used in, but I enjoyed the pattern immensely. So yarn over, then pull it, and then through all of them. Did you get that, Jenny? Do you understand that now? I know this is harder because I don't have a setup for an actual tutorial setup, but I figured we could figure it out as we go. Just let me know when you're at the end of your second row and we'll start the third one. Got it. Pull up the loop and directly through the two. Yes. When you pull up that, after you put it through, you've yarned over, you put the hook in like you normally would for a half double crochet. When you pull up that loop to bring through, you just pull it through the stitch and the two loops that are on the hook. You got it. When I first read the directions on how to do it in the instructions, I was like, that's just a half double crochet. So I had to sit down and half double crochet a couple and then follow the directions. And I was like, oh, I see the difference now.
Yeah, there is a difference.
And it just makes, I mean, it's about the size of a single crochet. It just makes a heftier, like single crochet, a sturdier, which is why I wanted to use that. And the other one, I did 2 rows of half double crochets, and I just thought that made it too big. And I thought of doing single crochets, and then I was like, no, I should do this instead. Okay, so the next row, I'm going to go ahead and start on this one. It's pretty easy. We're just going to row 3, see, that's why I didn't, because I forgot to even write it on here. Hold on, let me write this down before my brain can't. There we go. Oh, that was the large hair tie. I'm doing the medium. I lost my hair tie directions. Actually, I didn't lose them. The cat did. Hold on one second. I think she knocked them on the floor. Sorry, I'm going to have to move you guys. Kahlua was doing her co-hosting. There it is. She knocked it there. Got it without having to move too far. Change. I was going to do single crochets, but I think I'm going to do another half double slip stitch because it is sturdier. Okay, so now we're going to half double slip stitch again in each of the next 5 stitches. And I moved this now so you guys can't see me again because I needed to find my paper. I bet everybody is happy at home to have you feeling better.
Who, me?
Nadine, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how they've been surviving because
They're like, we can have dinner.
I did actually make them dinner just now, so I could,
Yeah.
Dinner, food.
Well, that's why I wasn't sure if you would be able to come on or not when you had messed up the times. Hi, Brenda Morgan. We're doing fine. How are you doing? We're halfway through the hair tie, so if you want to listen to the last half and just see what we're doing, you might be able to figure out how to do the whole thing, because once I'm done with this row, it's going to be backwards of what we just did for the beginning, kind of until we get to the slip stitch row. But anyway, after you half double crochet slip stitch for the 5, you chain, I'm going to make sure I get this right. Yeah, you chain 5 and skip 5 stitches. And then you half double crochet slip stitch in the last 5. But you have to hold on to the chains that you just did to get that first one through. There we go. Which I thought I was showing here and I wasn't. So let me take that off and do it again. 2, 3. Let's do all of my chains again. Yes, Jenny, for 5 stitches. And then when you're done there, you're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then skip the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then half double crochet in the last 5. Which you will need to, in order to pull that through all those loops, you'll need to hold on to those chains pretty well and pull them through one at a time if you need to. I lost my hoop. I lost my loops. Well, I was talking and trying to do it at the same time. 3, 4, 5. Did you get to open up that TikTok I sent you, Nadine?
No, I haven't done anything.
Okay, well, I just sent it to you on our private message.
I'm sorry.
Emily sent it to me, and it's really, really cute. That's why I sent it to you. So.
Yeah, I got a message. I think you'll get a kick out of this, but I had just finished cooking and I was trying to get on site.
Oh, no, I understand. I was going to describe what was on it, but I didn't want to do it if you haven't seen it. So.
Oh. No, I can't. I'm sorry. I was like, maybe I can go off and look at it.
I thought of showing it on here, but I don't know if I can get in trouble by showing somebody's TikTok video on a live.
I don't know.
I don't know if YouTube will tag it and cut my live, and so I don't want to take the chance. I mean, I know it's not music, but I don't know. Okay. And that's how it should look when you're at the end of the third row.
And then what are you?
Hi, Wolf Bender, although I think you're the bot that we had last time. So you having a good weekend, Brenda? If you want to make this along with us, we're doing the medium hair tie. What you need to do is chain 40. And then for row 2, when you turn it, you're going to start working in that very first chain, and then you're going to do 1 half double crochet in each of the next 15 stitches. So that'll be row 1. And then row 2, you're going to go back and you're going to do what's called the half double crochet slip stitch for row 2. And that's the same thing as a half double crochet, except for when you go to pull it through, when you put the hook through the stitch and then you yarn over it, then go to pull it through, you pull it through the stitch and the 2 loops at the same time, instead of making an actual pull it through and then pull through all of them. No, it was chain 40, Jenny. I told you that. And you said that you were going to catch up. I thought you went back to switch it. It's chain 40. Chain 37 was for the small one. I think you got confused because I told you how I made all of them.
But if it is 35 and 36, it's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only a couple
I
chains
think
off.
it'd be just fine.
Yeah, it's only 3 chains off, so your tie is just going to be 3 chains smaller than ours.
Yeah,
which is no big deal.
You'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. And then row 3 is 5 half double crochet slip stitches, and then 5 chains, and you skip 5 stitches, and then 5 more half double crochet slip stitches. Now we're going to go to row 4, which is just 15 half double crochet slip stitches.
Okay.
And you got to be careful when you get to the chain part, because it's trickier to do these in a chain. Like, I just almost messed up and put a half double myself because my hook had fallen off. Now, for those of you who are making this with me, Okay, you just finished a neon blanket, so your shoulder is sore. That's fine. Just watch along, talk with us. I will talk back. Nadine can't see the chat, so
I can't.
I don't know why they do it that way. They should have it so that you guys can see it when you come up with me.
If I did, like, because I don't have my headset, I thought I had powered up, but I don't. They're not working, so they're not charged. And I need to have the headset, or else it'll make that weird ring like sound,
Mm-hmm.
and it will destroy your life.
Oh yeah, if you go on the and have Facebook open at the same time, or
Yeah,
not Facebook, YouTube open at the same time.
yeah, YouTube. That's right. I'll mess up your life, so I don't do it.
Actually, I was going to put this in here. If any of you guys would like to come up here with us, you're more than welcome to join us up here on screen. You've got to click that link to get into the StreamYard and fill out your name, and then I can add you. But that's only if you want to. You don't feel like you have to.
And you have to be willing to show your face for the picture. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Some people don't. I'm like, yeah, I'm not
Well,
coming up.
I wouldn't get too mad if the first time if they didn't want to. At least they're up here talking with us, and you can talk to each other easier than trying to read and talk at the same time. Okay, I'm hoping I don't have to end up playing yarn chicken. I really didn't want to have to tie the other one on. I think I should have enough. But since I told everybody to bring the Lily's sugar and I still can't believe I can't think of the whole name of it. I didn't want to use the smaller yarn, and plus I didn't think that it would hold up as well with the smaller yarn that I had. That I made the washcloths with. Although it might. I plan on redoing this a couple different times. Trying different yarns, you know, different cotton yarns, and seeing how it does. I can't afford to break my hair, so I didn't even think about that. Like Nadine said, if I tried acrylic, it might break my hair. I don't need that. I have enough hair loss as it is. And then row 5 is just a row of regular half double crochets, which I just did a slip stitch. If you guys like this pattern, let me know after you've tried it out if it works for you. If it keeps your hair up in a bun, or if it gives you the curls, or if it does both, like it does for me. I don't want to say that it's going to do both for everybody because I don't know how everybody's hair is. But let me know if you think I should write it up in like a regular pattern, because I've never written up a pattern or done anything like that. So
Well, yeah, I think people would probably like that.
if I do, it would probably be on Ribbler first, only because I don't have a blog going yet. That is my big plan for this year, is I want to get a blog page started. So that if I do think of any other, I mean, I never thought that I would be making my first pattern. I never, you know, thought that when I was trying to figure out how in the world can I curl my hair easily while I'm sleeping on it, that it would be by me thinking of my first pattern. So you never know. I may have something else in the future. I might not. It just depends on if I think of it or not. And then for the last row, it's slip stitches across those 15 regular slip stitches. And then chain 25. And then fasten off. And then we just have to either sew it or crochet it together.
Wait, so the last row is just slip stitches and then chains?
Yes, because you got to get your other tie for the other side.
Okay.
Remember, it's 25 chains. So, 18, 19, 20. 24, 25. Get my scissors. Everybody in my house knows my little craft scissors out of this bag because I have my stitch markers attached to it. And that's one reason why I did this, so that nobody's going to take my scissors because they are mine. Nobody else wants to deal with them with the slip stitches, or the slip stitches. I was just reading the comments. Nobody wants to do it with the stitch markers on it. There we go. Thank you, brain. Okay, Jenny says, is it the half double crochet slip stitches? I'm not sure which row you're asking about. If it was row 4, then yes. If it's row 6 to finish off, that's just regular slip stitches. The ones where, you know, you just want to get to the other side and you don't want to make it look like you did anything, but I didn't want you to fasten off and then have to reattach and add the chains on. I figured it'd be easier just to slip stitch across. Okay, and then I just fold it inside out where the good side is on the inside and the back side is on the outside, which you can tell easily when you look at it. Row 5 is regular half double crochets. And then you can take a needle and sew it together. Just whip stitch it together. Or you can crochet it together. I think I'm going to whip stitch this one together. Or you can slip stitch it together. I think I slip stitched my last one together, but this one I'm going to actually sew it. Once I find my, there it is. I couldn't find my needle holder. That way, and trying to figure out what I like better. The first one, the large one, I crocheted it together using single crochets, and then a small one I slip stitched together. Now this one I'm going to sew together, so that way I can try and figure out which I like better. Like I said, just fold it in half. I'm going the wrong way with the computer again. Fold it in half with the wrong side facing you, and then just, so you're going to have to put a couple stitches where the chain meets the end, because you got a bigger hole there than you do on the regular stitches. But I know you guys all know how to sew things together, so I don't need to explain how to do that. Or I'm assuming you do. What I like to do instead of putting a knot is I will take the end yarn, if you can see that little end piece right there, and I'll put it the same length of what I'm sewing, and then I just sew over it. And then I don't have to knot it together, and it's in there nice and secure, because I've done my stitches all around it. I think I learned that when I was in sewing class way back, a long time ago. Instead of knotting it and making it, you have that little bump. And then I like to, I can't remember what kind of stitch this is called, but instead of just a regular whip stitch, I will take and make the loop sometimes and then pull my yarn through that loop. I think it's the invisible stitch, like when you're doing the invisible hem. I do that a lot in crochet too, when it calls for a whip stitch. I think it secures it together a little bit better, personally.
Dear, I would lose my head.
There, see, and I got to the end, and so I did that over that little end, and it's nice and secure. And then instead of knotting it again, I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to put it underneath the stitches, and I'm going to make it go through either just a couple of them or all the way through to the other end, and then cut it off. Since I have such a small space, I'm going to try and do all of them. Because I also don't want to go back and forth on the end, because then it's going to make a bigger bump. And I'm trying to keep this as smooth as possible in all areas so that your hair doesn't snag to it. Because believe me, my hair will snag to anything it can snag to. That's one thing. The new shampoos and stuff that I've been using, I love them. They're wonderful. But even just to touch my hair, it is so much softer than it ever used to be. I couldn't believe that. It's almost like petting my cat and how soft their hair is. My hair feels soft like that. And I've never had that before. So I've always had oily and yucky, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this through all of them with the big end on the hook or the needle. Okay, I made it go through all of them, but I can't pull it through because of the big eye. So I'm going to do it through a couple and then a couple more. I can make myself pull it through a couple. I couldn't do it through all of them. Just not that strong. Which is amazing, because I still have the strength in my right side that I had as a massage therapist. Okay. Jenny, where to sew? When you have it, I've already got the one end done, but when you had it open in the rectangle, fold it in half so that you have the wrong side facing you, and then you're going to sew both ends. So start at whichever end that you want. I just finished sewing this end right here. Now I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to move over here to sew this end together. Because what you want it to do is look, more like a tiny barrette that has the hole in the middle that you can put your hair through. I tried
you're
it.
gonna have hair go through here too?
No, because you're sewing it together.
No, I get that. But I'm talking about after it's sewn together, you have it go through just here, right?
Yes, just
Okay.
there. I tried it with leaving it open in a rectangle, and it didn't work that way. It wanted to flop all around and didn't want to be wound up. So did that make it clear for you, Jenny, or do I need to show you again before I start sewing my other end? It's just in the ends of the stitches in that little bit. Oh, I'm sorry. I pulled it up. Is that better since I pulled it up? It was originally like that, and then you fold it over, and then you just sew the two ends. That's why I've been trying to move my computer. So I had it where I'm used to doing my videos from. I was originally there, but then I have to move it because when you add somebody up here with you, it changes where you can be seen. Okay, Brenda, I understand. Have sweet dreams, and let me know. Brenda says,
Bye,
"Have fun,
Brenda.
but bedtime for me." So let me know if you have any problems. But I didn't know if I wanted to write this up in the description or not, but I think I'll write up the directions for the medium size in the description for anybody who comes through later, because I know I've jumped back and forth and I had a couple little issues there. So I'll write it up. I totally missed the other side when I went to sew that. I definitely make mistakes while I'm crocheting, as this just showed you again. Meow. Yep, Kalua agrees. And she is knocking off all my papers again. I don't know if all cats do this, but both of mine do. They both want to sit on top of whatever it is I'm working on when I'm working on it. And if they can't be on top of what I'm working on, because I'm usually pretty strict with them when I'm crocheting, because I never know if somebody's going to have cat allergies or something. Like if I'm crocheting something that somebody ordered from me, I don't let them get near it. And they have to stay off my lap the whole entire time I'm working. But if I'm making it for somebody in the family and I know that they don't have cat allergies, then they can be close to me. And but they always want to sit on my pattern that I'm working with. Or whatever. Now, I haven't had the issue yet because I usually have only made stuff for people that I know, but I know they don't have cat allergies. And I need to remember when I start crocheting for people that I don't know to ask them they're allergic to cats, because sometimes people are so allergic that even if something comes from a home of somebody who has cats, no matter how well you well, I started off using the large size for my hair. Jenny says that would be great to have it written in the description. Do you use the medium or large size for your hair? Why I'm making the medium is I want to see how it will work. This one worked really well the first 2 times I tried it, the large one. And because my hair isn't as thick as it used to be and it's thinner, after that, every time I tried to use it, because after a while, this parts of it is going to stretch out, even though it's cotton and cotton isn't stretchy. If you're using it, like I was putting it in and I was keeping it in, for a couple days before I would even take it down, because I used it for my bun, and then I would just untie it. And when I untied it the first time, I saw all the beautiful curls and I was like, wow, it did work as a curler, which I wanted it to, but I wasn't sure how well it would work. I was just happy with how it worked for the bun. But now it slips and it doesn't stay in. So that's why I made the small one. And the small one worked okay. It's just a little too small. So that's why I decided to try the medium one. Because what I do is I put all of my hair in it. But what somebody could do if they wanted to is make a couple small ones and do section your hair off and, put it up like curlers that way. But because I put mine in like a bun, I just leave it like that. And then I try to get all my hair in it, and then it curls it all. So I don't get it started right at the very end of my hair. But it still curls it really nice. I mean, you guys saw how well it curled, and that one wasn't when I showed it the first time. And when, I can't remember if it was you, Jenny, who wanted me to do it, or it may have been Brenda. Or actually, I think there's somebody else who may have asked me. There's like 3 of you who talk to me regularly. So anyway, I was asked to show how to do it because I had mentioned that I would if people wanted me to. And so yeah, basically I'm still experimenting to find the exact right size for me. I'm hoping that this one will be perfect. If not, I'll experiment again and I will reconstruct how I make it. I might go back to the 2 rows of half doubles and then do the half double slip for when I'm doing the chain row. I don't know. I just figured with the sturdiness of the half double slip that this might be what I needed to do to keep this part smaller and not as big. And maybe it wouldn't be yes. Jenny says I'm one of the people who asks, so you put the hair through the opening and then roll it up and tie it. Yes, that's exactly what you do. Which I would love to show you on my hair, but unfortunately I have some slip disc issues in my neck and it's hard for me. Also, I have shoulder problems to raise my arms up. So I have to finagle it when I put it in. I have to finagle my body. I have to lay down, and I have a pillow that I use that goes between my legs when I sleep at night. When I lay on my side and put it between my legs to help align my spine so that I don't get my sciatica issues and things that I have when I'm laying in the bed. Since I had my surgery, I've been sleeping on the couch again because haven't been able to lay in my bed without hurting really bad the next day. After you're done sewing it, like I'm done sewing it here, then you just flip it. So you have the nice size on the other side. And everything is nice and secure. And there you go. But anyway, I take that pillow, I put my head on it so that it is secure. And then I pull my hair up the way that you should when you're going to wrap it in a bun. And then I put it through this. And then I start wrapping it up. But I usually have to stop in the middle. And it usually sometimes will take me 3 or 4 times before I get it right because of the fact that I can't hold my arms the proper way to be able to do it. Which is another reason why I needed the tie to be a little bit longer, because I needed to be able to wrap it around twice if I need to. If I don't need to, I wrap it up, and depending on where the ties is, I pull it around and then I'll put a bow in the bottom. But if I have to wrap it around twice, I keep going, take it to the top, and then put a little bow at the top. Because I found that if I don't bow it, sometimes I end up not being able to get it out. I have tried putting it in a knot, and sometimes those knots get too hard to untie once they've been in your head for a while. So I always try to tie it with a bow.
Well, and cotton doesn't flex, right? So once it ties, right, it's like
Yeah, so that's another reason why I do it in a bow. But yeah, I was surprised on this large one how misshapen it got and how much it actually did flex on me some. But again, I don't know if that's because of using it so much with wet hair and that helped soften it. Because usually when you wash cotton, it'll soften it up some. And I think by doing that, because this was a perfect rectangle, just like how this one is. And then it's all floppy in the middle now. And also it just might be from the stitches that I decided to use on this one. And the, how many chains I gave, how big of an opening I had on this one. That's why I went to a smaller opening for my hair to fit in there a little bit better and then curl up. The only thing is with a smaller opening, sometimes it doesn't curl your hair as much. You may have one big curl versus all the little other curls on the side. So that's why I said I'm still experimenting. If it turns out that I need even a bigger opening, because this opening, is it bigger? No, it's the same. This opening is the same opening size as on the small one. But if I needed to, if I think, okay, that opening is too small, I need a bigger one, I can adjust the medium size. And instead of crocheting 5, I can crochet 3 on each side. And then having a 9 chain opening. So it's something that you can play with and make it personal to you. Right, Kalua? Yeah? I don't know if you heard her have her talking fit there for a second, but she wanted to talk too.
Man, I brought the cat bed in and everything so my cat would like stay in the room at night with me. He's been getting out and he'll come into this room, right? And be alone. Like I don't know what he's doing. But he's just like alone, you know? And I was like, what's going on? I brought the bed in. And now he'll like get on top of his tree on this tiny little platform and balance himself on that instead of getting in the bed. I'm like, he used to be like a bed bunny. I don't know what's happened.
He must love all of your yarn in your craft room.
It must be. But he comes in here and every time I come in, I find him like right there. And it's cold in here at night. I thought cats like to be warm.
Well, they do, but maybe since he's a
Maine Coon.
Maine Coon, maybe he gets hotter.
I don't know. I
I
miss
don't
my
know.
cuddle cat.
I know my husband's been upset because since I haven't been feeling well, both of them have been cuddling with me.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't, Halford, his cat, has not been cuddling with him. And he's like, you got to come to bed with me now.
Yeah. I
And
know.
Halford will go into bed with him and lay in there with them and get his pets and everything. And as soon as he's asleep, boom, or as soon as he's done petting, he doesn't even
Yeah.
have to be asleep. Boom, he's out here. And it's not that I pet him because I don't. I don't know if it's because my husband has a hard time sleeping with covers on sometimes. And even though it's cold,
Mm-hmm.
he will toss his covers off because he just moves around so much, which that's part of it. Halford's never spent the whole night in the bed with him because Bob tosses and turns so much. I mean, that's the reason why him and I can't share a bed, because he hit me one too many times, not meaning to. And I was like, okay, that's it. We are not sleeping in the same bed anymore. And when he had opposite hours, that just made it worse because he was just so tired. And anytime I'd move to try to get out of bed, he'd be like, up and what? And he talks in his sleep. You always know when my husband is extremely tired, because the more tired he is, the more he talks in his sleep.
Oh.
And he usually goes back to his days as a supervisor at McDonald's, because
That's a
you can
fucking
hear
nightmare.
him either calling back orders or talking to a customer who has a problem and saying, I'll take care of that for you right away. It'll be right with you, ma'am or sir or whatever. So it's funny to hear because it makes me think of how your brain works when you're tired, you know? Maybe that's why when I'm extremely tired, I have dreams of when I was younger.
Do you know most people when they drive, they are on semi-sleep?
Most people, when they what?
When they're driving. When
They're
they do
what?
like a regular commute, like, and and they're going to work and back from work and going to work and back to work and they get on this, if you ask them how the drive was on home, and unless there was some major catastrophe, they couldn't tell you one thing about the drive, because their brain like goes on like this strange autopilot, like almost sleep mode, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep. When I was in college down at Butler in Indianapolis, and I had to drive home, and it's before they made our major highway to shorten it off. They started a big project, I don't know how many years ago now, and since it's been finished. But back when I was younger, and that it used to take us 5 hours to get to Indy. Now it only takes like 3, depending on where you're going. Like 5 hours to get to downtown Indy. Now it's only 3. And so for me to get to school, it would take me 4 hours. And especially when we got to Kokomo, Indiana, it was start and stop, start and stop, start and stop, because they had like 20, I think it was about 20 stoplights to get through all of Kokomo on the main highway. And I got to the point where I swore I could sleep all the way home. I was so used to that drive. And that gets kind of scary because there's so many cars and everything. You just get so used to doing it.
yeah.
Now what makes me scary is every time when we go down to the doctor, which is about once a month or whatever, every other month now, maybe, to my specialists, which is nice because I used to go down like 3 times. Hi, Just Handmade Designs. Our night's doing good. How's your night? Just Handmade Designs just
Hi, just handmade.
in. Nadine can't see the chat, so I'm telling her what people say. And she asked, how's everyone's night? Jess, I'm glad that I saw you in here. I did want to say something while I was on the live, just to make sure that everybody is reading the rules on the subscriber giveaway. Some of you, and I haven't wanted to put it on the actual comment because it's not right for me to point out who it is. But some of you have subscribed. I know you've subscribed to me because I got a notice saying that you subscribed to me. But in order to win the giveaways, you have to be publicly subscribed so that I can actually, there's a little tag, although it's putting it on your name now in the live. But I don't know if that's just because you're from, this is on YouTube, that it has the YouTube tag. But the tag that I can see in the live right now is a tag that goes on your name that shows me when you're publicly subscribed. And if the tag isn't there, it means that you might be subscribed, but in private. And for those who don't know, when you sign up with YouTube and when you do everything with YouTube, you are automatically privately subscribed to people. And if you want to be publicly, you have to go in and change that in your settings. So, just to put that out there.
Tails?
You can trim the tails if you want to. You can leave them on if you want the tie to be longer.
Okay.
That's completely up to you, however long you want your tails. Mine aren't that long, so I don't ever leave mine that long when I do my chains. That's the longest one I have. I think that was the starting part.
Okay.
But then again, you've only been crocheting for a year. So I think when I first started, I used to have a long tail always. So it's just something you learn how to do as you crochet more.
Yeah, I usually like to sew it in. Crazy.
Well, yeah, and it's
knitting, like in my mind, and knitting,
and where it needs to be sewn in, and all of that too.
So crazy, but you don't.
So, Jess says, I watched a documentary on an Alzheimer patient. One thing he continued to do was his walk that he did for many years. Other than that, he didn't know who he was. Yep, that's true. Well, because one thing with Alzheimer's patients, and I used to help take care of a lady who had Alzheimer's, is they remember things from when they were younger. So even though she was like in her 80s, her memories kept taking her back to when she was in World War II. And anytime somebody, like if her son came to help take care of her and he was trying to help her take care of private needs in the bathroom, she would freak out sometimes because she was thinking, why is this man in here? Except for with her one son who looked like her husband, she didn't freak out with him. But the one who didn't, she freaked out with him. Because it was like, what is this strange man doing in here in the bathroom with me? Okay, and just, I know my sub is blocked. I know the rules of the giveaway, but I just still wanted to. Okay, and I know people still just want to comment, so that's the only reason why I'm putting it out there. I know there's people who want to comment, who don't care about being entered, but there's some people who want to be entered and don't realize that. So I just wanted to bring it up and make sure that everybody knew. And I know that I had mentioned it in another video, but that video I had put up more or less because somebody had entered, she had subscribed, and she had left a couple comments, and I couldn't find the comments, and then I couldn't find her as a subscriber and all that. So I didn't know if YouTube was doing a major glitch, because last year there were people who were subscribing to different channels, and then YouTube was just taking them off. So I was hoping that wasn't happening again.
It got rid of a lot of channels, and see, some of those channels that I subscribed to didn't post weekly. Actually, they posted maybe every 2 weeks, maybe, you know what I mean, here or there.
Mhm.
But they were good, solid videos. I enjoy.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Well, I
I
just
enjoy.
realized I had went back looking for a channel that I used to watch all the time on my personal name, and I wanted to add her to this name so that, I tend to watch videos and do everything on my on this name now, on AJ's Personal Touch, and not on Anjanette Pizon. And so I was like, okay, I want to add her to AJ's Personal Touch. I hadn't done that yet. So I went and looked for her channel on Anjanette Pizon so that I could find it and then just switch over to this channel. It's much easier to do it that way. And I couldn't find her. They had kicked me off her channel completely altogether. And then I'm going, okay, where can I find her? How can I find her?
What
Oh my
video
goodness, I'm
if
not going to
you
be able to
liked
find
her?
her. And
Yeah.
then I remembered that she reviews the like period cups and period panties and things. So I looked up period cup reviews and then I found her that way.
Like, whoo.
I was like, how could I find her? I can't remember her name.
That's a bummer.
And then I felt bad because I had watched her for so long. I'm like, I should remember her name. But she had one name and then she switched it. So just says, yes, sometimes can be crazy, sometimes with that too. And YouTube did that to her before. Yeah, I'm sorry it did it to you. I think it's done it to almost all of us now. So I will put the directions to the medium one um, in the write up of the live once the live comes live. Because if I do any of that now, it's not going to show up. So I will do that, but I'm not going to put the different changes that I have for the small and the large since I basically did all of them a little different. But just know you can personalize it to you. And if you need help with personalizing it or changing anything, just give me a message and I'll work with it and work it through with you. Because I'm still not done. If this one doesn't work the way that I want it, I'll probably do another one. So I'm still trying to find the right one for me, in other words. So I'm so glad you made it on, Jess. We've been on now for an hour and 22 minutes, which I didn't think that StreamYard let you go on for more than an hour. So that surprises me. I didn't expect it would take that long while we were making it, but I wasn't sure how long to expect. So, are you still with us? I got to go up. Jen Smith. We got Jen and Jess now. So, or Jenny. I don't know if it's okay to put Jen. I'm Canadian, so I can't enter the draws anyway. I'm here for your channel. Oh, well, thank you, Jenny. Once they get shipping back down, hopefully to where it was and not as bad as it's been because of the pandemic, I will definitely start shipping, to Canada and overseas for something small because this is just going to be small, but I know I can't afford it right now. My husband complains to me about how much it is, when I'm shipping so much right now just in the US, and he usually ends up paying for it even though lots of times I give him my card and he'll forget that he has it. So he'll end up paying for it and then I'll be like, well, let me write you a check to cover the cost. Oh, no, 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 I got it. But then he'll complain about how much it costs. So I always try to make sure, especially if it's for something for my channel, I give him my card. And I did that for your box, Nadine, because I knew he was going to be like, I don't want to pay this when I sent your box last time. So, which has been about a year ago now, because I know it was after Valentine's Day last year. So,
Yeah, that's okay.
I just feel bad that I haven't had the money this year to do what I did for Christmas last year. So it's been a rough year.
Don't worry about things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll come
It'll
back.
get better. It'll get better.
It
So
will. And I just need to ask everybody's personal opinion, but do you guys think they're ever going to bring back the Hunter Green Furls Odyssey hook? I just need to know when
I
the
don't
I thought Christmas for sure. And Christmas
Well,
came and
I
went.
told you before.
Damn it.
I told you before that when I started with furls, which was at least a year before I introduced you to furls, that they were out of the hunter green then.
I am so upset.
But I have watched videos with who is it? Mrs. DeGeeter, who does the videos now. But also I watched one with her and all of the main people who are working, not not with Harrison, but with Pam, and I can't think of her last name, but she's a designer. I think Simply Pam or something. I can't think, but I've made quite a few of her designs. I've saved a lot of her designs. Actually, I should say I think I've made one or two, but for that's good to stay with one designer to do one or two. She's one of my favorite designers because I've saved a lot of her patterns. Simply Pam, maybe. Is that what I said before? That may have been what I said before. Anyway, she was talking, and she's the one who's like in charge of what is she in charge of? She's in charge of like what they have and like helping decide what they're gonna, get and do and things. And I guess a lot of people have been asking for the hunter green hooks, and she couldn't say if it's going to come back or not. She's just saying that there are going to be a lot of different colors and things to come. One of the things they're trying to work on is the fact that everybody's upset that the when you get the Odyssey hooks, that it's the sticker with the size on it. So they're
Yeah,
trying
one
to
of mine
figure out.
didn't have a sticker.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out what to do with that. Well, one of mine did that. I called them and they replaced it for me.
Yeah.
So, but they've got a lot of different and new things in the works since they have a new staff and since they moved to the new warehouse. So she's based out
Yeah,
of Canada.
Yeah.
So
I thought to
she
myself,
made it sound positive for there may be a hunter green in the future, but I don't know.
I would
The
really
answer is nobody knows. And if you ask them, they're not going to tell you yes or no.
it would just be really nice. Dang it.
I know. Well, there's a lot of colors that would be really nice.
But that's the one that, like, when you look at all, like, if you have, like, when you have them in front of you, right? The thing that's missing from the, from the
Well,
view,
see,
like,
she even
is,
had people on the panel asking her that too, because there was a lot of them who work there who do not have the hunter green because they started there after it was gone. So there's a lot of people pushing to have it back.
yeah,
So I would say there's a good chance.
I'm hoping so.
So
I
I'm hoping. I would like to have it too, but I haven't been able to buy the last couple ones. I would have really loved to have had the iris one,
Yeah,
but I just can't afford them
when
right
I
now.
ordered, those were gone. So,
Yeah. And then when you ordered and got me my gorgeous yellow one for my birthday, they had it back right after that.
just,
So
but that when they brought it back, your stuff had already been ordered.
yeah,
Like,
I know. I know you tried.
I was like,
I'm happy with I only have 3 Odysseys, and like I said, someday I hope to have a set. Right now, I almost have a set of the light hooks, my light hooks that I like, that I had gotten a couple of because of the blessings page that I'm on. Because I tend to send people things more than I buy for myself. And a lot of them on the page see that too. And for those who have bought me blessings, my Secret Santa this year sent me about 4 different of those light up hooks. So now I
yes,
only need 2 of them to complete my set.
that's really
So
cool.
once I do a couple more patterns, get paid for a couple more patterns that I've tech edited, I should be fine and be able to get the rest of my light up hook set. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I know Michael's and some of them just throw out that 50 or 40%
yeah,
off.
but they don't have the light up hooks.
I didn't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
they don't. They're at,
They're
you have to go
cool.
to Annie's or Amazon because I think the company completely discontinued them. Joann's had them. That's where I got my first couple from, but they had discontinued them, and I got them on clearance from Joann.
Yeah, well, most people gave them a good rating. They used them till they burned out. Yeah,
And you can get, I mean,
every
they have a battery pack,
yeah,
so,
that's what I thought.
and they have replacement batteries. So there's some that aren't so good, but the ones that I have, which is called the Light hook, I think,
It's the Addy.
LITE, I love it. I completely love it. The ergonomics of it, I love. It's got just a tiny, it's not a lot of weight, but it feels like a hook. It's not too light like you would think something made of plastic with a light in it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's different than the ones, like I have a friend who wanted to get the interchangeable head ones, and I told her, I said, I have not heard of anybody who has reviewed light up hooks with the interchangeable heads find one of them yet that they like.
Yeah,
So that's why I stick with the all-in-one. Jenny Smith says, I've never tried Furl's hook. I primarily use clover hooks. I like my clover hooks too.
yeah, I love Clover.
My husband last year was really sweet for Christmas. Not this past Christmas, but the year before. I had a wish list at We Crochet, and he bought me every single hook that he saw on my wish list. Now, I had 2 Furls hooks on there, but for some reason the pictures didn't come up
Mm-hmm.
on the wish list. And so he didn't see the pictures. So I should say all of them he saw the pictures for, because there were like 2 other hooks that he didn't get me because he didn't see the pictures on there. But if he saw the picture of the hook and then the description, he clicked on it and he got me every single one I wanted. So I've got to try out the Knit Picks wooden hooks. And I love those too. The only thing I don't like, I think it's the Knit Picks ones, they do not put the size on it. So I have to keep my packages and put them back in the packages after I'm done using them. And like I have one out right now, and the only reason why I know what sizes it is because I have to keep looking at the pattern and it tells me what size hook I'm using. So because I
Yeah.
had lost the package for a while, but I just found it the other day. Jess says her furls hook just sit, her furls hook just sit pretty on her desk. Oh, mine don't just sit pretty. Well, first, I can't put mine out because I have a cat who likes to chew my hooks. And he likes to chew any wooden hooks that I have. And I have some of the Furls wooden hooks. And he likes to chew the Streamline resin hooks that I have. And I keep telling him, no, those are not for chewing. Those are not toys. And so Nadine actually gave me my first case, which was this, which no longer has hooks in it, but these are makeup brush cases. And I was trying to find something to put my furls hooks in, and I couldn't think of what to do. And she sent me one of these. Did you send me this? Yeah, you sent me this one last year. And then when I was looking, because I was running out of room, I found this one on Amazon. And I sent one of these to Nadine then
Yes.
last year for her birthday. And as you can see, it's got all of them in there that I'm not currently using in a project. And the hook that Nadine got me, I have not put in here yet. My last Odyssey. So, but I still have room. But I know Nadine's is full.
Yeah, I have mine separated. Like the resin hooks are with the resin, and
Yeah,
with
I
the wood.
don't have enough to separate them. So all of mine
Yeah,
are together.
yeah.
I
That's a,
figure if I ever get all the Odysseys that I want, those will go in there. And then the resins will have to fit in the smaller one, or I'll have to get
yeah.
another one that size. Jenny says, I like to use bamboo knitting needles.
Yeah, I like
Okay.
bamboo knitting
I
needles.
don't knit. All I do is crochet. So
Yeah, I enjoy those too.
I do like the bamboo crochet hooks that I got, which I think are what the Knit Picks ones were that I was talking about. I think those are bamboo. I said wooden, but I think they're actually bamboo. Um, But the only thing like I said, I don't like is that they don't have the sizes in them. And then I have a whole set of Michael's name brand. I can't think of what their name brand is right now. Oh, I can picture it in my head. But anyway, I have a whole set of bamboo hooks that I had bought that somebody had put on Posh for just a couple bucks. And I grabbed that as soon as I saw it. And I love those too. I do love all my bamboo hooks. I love all of my hooks. I love even my Susan Bates. Well, I can't say I love all my hooks. Take that back. Scratch that. I love my Silva Loom hooks, my Susan Bate ones, but when it comes to the other aluminum hooks, I cannot use
I
the
can
boy.
use boy. I like them. I like heroes too.
I used to be able to use boy a little bit, but now I can't. Every time I use them, it splits every yarn I'm working with, and it takes me twice as long to make something. And I'm already slow. I don't need to get slower. So, and my husband had gotten me a whole set of hooks. They weren't boy, but they were from LTD. If anybody knows what LTD is, they send out magazines, and it used to be that only organizations could order from them, but now they let people. But it used to be everything in it was cheaper than what you could buy regularly somewhere else. And they would send them to organizations because they figured people would order a lot of different things. But it has everything from decorations for outside to bath stuff. It just has everything. Everything you can think of are in these books, and he still gets them. He hasn't ordered from one in a while, but he ordered my hook set from there because it was only like $5. And it's a decent hook set, and it came in a case. The case itself was worth the $5. But I can't use it. So I asked him, I said, do you mind if I put that in one of my giveaways sometime? Because it just sits here and I don't use it. And I hate for hooks to sit here and not be used. So, because they're like the boy hook and I just can't use them. Jess says, I love Clover Amore hooks, and I make resin, and she makes resin hook handle hooks too. That is awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I like both my Clover Amore and what are they called? The soft handled Clover that have the gold like handles on them. And it's supposed to be like a soft pad in there, but to me, the whole thing feels hard. I had actually thought of making resin hooks. And if I would have had the money to actually get resin in the supplies, I would have done that by now because I was trying to think of something else I could do. I just couldn't afford all of that right now. And I know it's not majorly expensive, but it's an expense that I can't handle. When we found out that my husband's job was privatized and he was working for the school system, and that he wasn't, going to be paid through the school system and an employee of the outsource. That's what I'm looking for. He quit because he knew that as soon as they outsourced, because the same thing happened with the food, the people in the cafeteria workers, but they call them the food workers, I think. The company that they outsourced to took them over, was sweet as pie to them, so nice and kind. And once they taught them how to do their job, they took away all the extra help that they had brought in from their company and had only like one or two people working a shift, to where they had to do a ton of work, and where they finally quit. And then they just brought everybody in and they had a ton of people to work because they didn't want to pay them what their pay had gotten to over the years. They wanted to be able to hire people cheaper. So my husband said he just was not going to train the person to take over his job. So, and he was under so much stress. Nate knows this last year has been pretty stressful, and he was working tons and tons and tons of overtime, which at first you think, oh, that's nice, you get overtime pay, but then it's not so nice because your health starts to go down. So he's not as stressed now. He's getting a ton of overtime on his second job. See, my husband works 2 full-time jobs because of my illness. So just before I forget, Jess says, Nadine, I just read your story on your channel and God blessed you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
But there's been a lot of changes right now here with him being down to 1 job and just trying to get used to things. And I'm trying to get my tech editing business up and going. And I've had 1 great review, which I haven't shown you guys yet. And I've been meaning to do a video on the tech editing pattern that I was working so hard on, and that I would keep saying that, sorry, I haven't been, doing the videos between my health and tech editing. I just have this pattern that has been taking so much time. It was released back at the beginning of January, and I got such a fantastic review by the designer. And the designer, I can say now, was Fosbus. I think that's how you say her designer name. Her regular name is Susanna. She is so sweet. I love her to pieces. I think she was originally from South Africa, and now she lives in the UK. I thought I had read somewhere that she was from South Africa, but I could be wrong on that. But she's in the UK. So we had the big time difference, which was one of our big problems on how long it was taking me. And but it is a very, very detailed sweater. So it was my very first garment to tech edit, and there was a lot of changes and things, and it's a gorgeous sweater. You guys just have to go look. It's called her Bobble Sweater. It's got Bobble in the name because the one side is nothing but like a lace stitch. There's a name for it. I can't remember what it is though, the stitch that she uses, and bobbles. And so you have to wear something underneath it because it's so open and lacy. And then the other side is just like a regular sweater. And I can't remember if it's double crochets or half double crochets that she uses for it, but it is just gorgeous. When I saw it, my eyes just went, wow. And then I was like, oh my goodness, I can't do this. I can't do this. And then I was like, yes, I can. And I got started on it. And yeah, she loved it. She said that I was just so detail oriented, and she just really loved that. And that was the best thing that anybody could say for me, for me trying for tech editing. So I'm hoping that her review helps to get me some other designers.
It will. It'll all come along.
Soon I will be picking up on that. Well, I have a couple of you here before we go because I know we need to get going. Thanks, Jess. Jess says that's awesome. I wanted to ask, I did show some coloring pages that I did in my last video. Do you guys like that? Because I plan on bringing my coloring pages onto the channel as well. Since it is something that I do to help distress myself, and I had stopped doing it as much last year, and just the 2 that I did the other day helped calm me down so much. And I usually use an app on my phone, but I want to get back to coloring in my books and doing some buddy colors with my friend who has her color channel and things. So Jenny Smith says that's wonderful. Thank you, Jenny. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that's for the color pages or for the tech editing, but I'll take it for either. It's great. So yeah, I'm in a pretty good space right now. I just need to get my name out there. Because right now I don't have another job in sight, but I need to get my name out and, like I said, get a blog together and things. So I got stuff to work on. I just need to let my health let me do it. So get better there. And
It
on
will.
that note, it is about time to go to bed. So, and I know
It is for you for sure, right? I was
Yeah.
going to say, I know it's late getting here for me, but it's late for you. Right?
She says tech editing. So yeah. What about Jenny and Jess? Do you like the color pages? Do you like to see that too? I mean, I know people can just not watch that video if they don't want to, but I don't really plan on separating color pages, versus crochet. It's just something I plan on putting in, because I just talk about everything. I don't just talk about crochet. And, you know, if I have a crochet project to show, I show it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like here and here, I've got that amigurumi that I started on that I haven't shown you guys. So, yeah, I plan on adding that in. And if there's ever anything that you guys want to see, let me know. I know somebody asked me to do a video on what it was like to do crochet back when I first started, which would have been in the, I'm really going to date myself here now, would have been in the 70s when I first started crocheting. So somebody was like, oh, you should do the difference between when you started then and now, you know, but I was also little then. So I didn't know what all the differences were because I wasn't buying my own patterns, you know, and things. My mom was doing that for me. So I can try and do something like that. Like yarn, goodness. Most of it was no, I can't, my brain. I want to do Coats and Clarks, Red Hearts, Super Saver, and Windtuck. And then, you know, Bernat started creeping in, and I loved Bernat. So, okay, Jess says, my channel is about crafts too. Coloring is calming and happy crafting. As she did say, have a beautiful night. So, yes, on that, I am going to end this. Thank you for being here with me again, Nadine. I so
Yes,
appreciate
thanks for having.
it. Thank you for joining me, Jess and Jenny. And I also want to say thank you to, I find her name up here, to Brenda for stopping in earlier. If you rewatch this and see this, thank you, thank you. And I want to try to do lives maybe once a month or maybe even weekly after a while. So it all depends on how I'm feeling. So I'm trying not to make myself too scheduled. I'm just trying to do what I can when my body lets me. So, and
Yeah.
good night, everybody. Have a great night. Great West. I was going to say rest of your weekend, but this was Sunday. Have a great week ahead. And I will see you guys soon.
Okay.
Night.
Night.
Okay. Oops.